I can think of plenty of ways that people can get biohacking wrong. One of the first things is with fasting. A lot of people fast when they're really stressed out, and I'm just not convinced that that's great overall for cortisol balance, because it puts your body under a state of fight or flight.
Hashtag fasting. Hashtag bullshit.
Another thing that people get wrong is they stack stack too many supplements all at the same time and have no idea which one is working.
We're watching a
And
thing
a lot of
on
people don't test before they take
nootropics.
things. They just take things willy-nilly, thinking they have problems. Just like when you're trying to diagnose disease and treat disease, you want to know what the problem is. You don't want to just think you know what the problem is. You want to definitely know what you're trying to work on and then work towards that, rather than just try to take things because you think you need them. What I've learned over the last few years and through medical school was that there's actually a science to wellness and optimizing health, and that it's just as measurable as diseases. And in fact, you can use a lot of the same tools and techniques that you use to interrogate for disease to understand how to optimize a person's body. A lot of people in San Francisco come to me and they already have spreadsheets of supplements that they're already taking. And what they come to me for is to help tweak that list, figure out what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and to sort of offload some of the management of their health.
Molly made me fill out about 23 separate questionnaires about, my lifestyle, the shape and style of my stools, a whole bunch of different things, just really trying to ascertain what's happening to my body. She also asked me to go and get around about 50 different tests, like blood tests, urine tests, and whatever.
Hell yeah.
It's
That
pretty
bitch
scary
gonna
to
know
suddenly
that,
walk in and
dude.
they're taking like 10 vials of blood and whatever, and you're suddenly looking at things that you never looked at before. So the wonder.
I want a woman to know
of, is there
everything
something
about me.
wrong here?
My blood
So,
type.
but like she covers the bases.
Hey, Molly.
Hi,
How's
good to
it going?
see you.
Yeah,
The
good to see you.
makeup of my molecules.
Check out your test results. I was just
wanted to
reviewing
see it
your
under a
questionnaires,
microscope,
and we have
I
plenty
wanted
to talk about today.
Perfect.
put
What are you most
significance
concerned
on
about?
it.
I'm most concerned of burning out. I fly 40, 50 times a year.
Just like a
I change
weirdo
time zones
science
all the time,
girl.
sometimes multiple times
Peak-
in a week.
peak girl.
My insomnia is bad. I've been trying everything. Different kinds of things like fasting. I've been trying nootropics.
Yeah, nootropics are interesting. The problem with some nootropics is that we don't always know exactly where they're made. A lot of these companies are online companies that are ordering research chemicals off the internet. When you take nootropics, always ask the person you're getting them from, even the websites, where did they make them? When do they
Such a
expire?
whiny
What are the
baby.
risks? What are the benefits? What are the things I should be concerned about? I think that nootropics are great,
Sorry.
but I also think that a lot of people don't have the basics down. They're not doing the things they need to do, like the sleep, the nutrition, the exercise, the stress management, and they're trying to take a shortcut. Unfortunately, the shortcuts, they don't always work as well as the basics. So you have to have both. You've got a couple markers of oxidative stress and inflammation. Your CRP is 2.1. I'd like to see it 0.5. Your homocysteine is 11, and I'd like to see it 5 to 7. So we need to cut these in half at least. You have a history of smoking, right?
Yeah, that ended a couple of years ago.
Right.
But like casual smoking, that's still not an excuse, right?
Well, that's the thing, that's still smoking.
My kid's
And the thing is that your body
fucking
still has
wigging
that
out,
toxic
bro.
burden that you had from quitting 2 years ago. You also have elevated liver enzymes. So that's also possible that like with this constellation, it just tells me that like your liver's working overtime right now. Getting the right kind of exercise for you is going to be key. You want to make sure you get a decent amount of yoga in, because as we get older, we become less flexible. Weightlifting is important for muscle growth and muscle density, and cardiovascular exercise for our heart. And then I'd like to get you to have at least two servings of vegetables per meal, if you can do that. I mean, that's going to be probably over like 6 to 8 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. But for you to just bump those up, that's going to help with the detoxification, because the fiber is just going to be super helpful for your gut function.
Molly basically told me to ease off on the nootropics until I got some proper sleep. She made me change my diet and start exercising. When I was back home for a couple of weeks, I had time to try out this new health regime. I started eating healthier and even started cooking for myself.
Good, nice, good. Rip the floor apart. Come on, Rick.
I work out twice a week with my trainer.
And go. Tight, here. A little bit better. Last one.
It's really hard to fit in with my travel, let me tell you.
Last one, that's right.
I was taking supplements as per Molly's suggestion, as well as adding some that Eric recommended. One for my liver detoxification, a myriad of vitamins, some magnesium, trying to boost my immune system and increase my energy. I also hooked up with nootropics when I needed to double down on work and when the schedule was getting tight.
Hi, how are you?
We're still actually looking for as well as an MC.
But to be honest about it, this extra health regime was just adding to my work. My stress levels were just not reducing. In fact, I was getting more stressed trying to track my health on top of the busy work schedule, and I'd exhausted all the biohacking options out there. I mean, no doubt I was getting more physically fit, but I was still pretty worn out. I called Dr. Molly for some advice, and she recommended that I take a break and talk to a life coach down in San Francisco. Very West Coast indeed.
When you come into these types of situations, when you've tried everything, it often helps to take a step back and slow down and think about, or just not think, and have a practice of just being you. And it might be hard to know what that is at first. Tell me if there was a time when you haven't experienced this
Hell
kind of
yeah, it
state
is
or-
all
or
hippie shit
feeling that you're
at the
getting
core.
closer. Do you
That's
remember
the
a time?
fucking,
Yeah, I mean,
that's the
it's
moral of
pretty
the
tough. It's
story.
quite a long time ago. There are a couple of periods in my life where I just quit work just to write music for 6 months or a year.
So there you go.
So
Music.
maybe I go back to that. But I don't want to stop, right? Just being a workaholic and working so hard, it's I'm trying to avoid the situation I had when I was growing up, which I didn't have any money. And people around me would say, "Oh, you don't have anything," and I just work really hard to ensure that I have more than I need.
Getting vulnerable.
Yeah, getting vulnerable with it. Yeah, it feels very emotional when I talk about tapping into that. You work so hard because it's a direct visceral reaction to not having money when I was at university, not having money when I was growing up, never like having the abundance I saw people around me having. They were getting bought.
Did anyone
things,
make
right?
fun of you for it?
All the time.
there's a few things that I would recommend. Slow down. We are like going faster and faster and using these nootropics or supplements and psychedelics, for example, to accelerate and to improve and optimize. It seems mutually exclusive or at odds when we think about going back to the basics and reconnecting with ourselves.
For the last 8 months, I've been chasing my own tail, taking nootropics to do more work, but I've never really stopped to question why I'm working so hard. Maybe I need to stop more often and listen to my body instead of trying to bulldoze my way through. So I've been traveling around North America and I've been getting involved in a scene called biohacking. I've met people that have encouraged me to get involved with everything from nootropics and smart drugs, sitting in hyperbaric chambers, putting cranial stimulation devices on my head to try and optimize who I am, more focus, more attention, more ability. And through all of this experimentation, it's made me realize something. We're not limitless as humans, nor should we be. And if we come back and focus in on who we are, that means that we can put into focus what we need to do with our culture and how that's changing with technology. We used to work with our hands, building things. And then we're in the knowledge economy right now, we're working with our heads. Going forward, we're going to work with our hearts. That's how the world is going to change. And that's the wisdom that we need to take us into the future. We're headed into a brave new world. People expect us to do more and to be more and to achieve more. But we can't lose sight of who we really are. We're humans. We're mothers and fathers. We're family members. And that's what's really important in life.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That was probably insanely loud. It says it was really loud. I'm so sorry. My fucking mic decided to have an aneurysm. Had to unplug it and replug it. I'm so sorry. What are we watching? We gotta watch, we gotta catch up with the, oh, fuck. I have to change the name of the stream again. I forgot to put Future Destiny, Orbiter.
Was just watching my stream, waiting. Who am I gonna put in my campaign?
Oh, fuck. It's gonna be good in 2 hours. I feel like he's still... Oh, no. Never mind. Alright.
Oh! Okay.
1.5, okay? I gotta catch up. I gotta catch up with him. I don't want to miss, you know, important bits of stream. I may skip ahead in times.
Oh, I think they messaged me on Discord. I don't listen. I typically don't unban people from Discord because I don't know why my mod banned them, and when I start fucking with that, I get real mad. So.
Well, fuck your mods, dude. This is literally your community. What the fuck? You can ban and unban whoever the hell you want, bro. What the fuck?
Americans finally feeling better about the economy. Oof. This for us is really good. For conservatives is really bad. I think the one thing, the one thing that the Trumpers can hold on to is the economy. And if the economy is kind of like fucked, or at least not that great, that's like the one thing that kind of Trump can hang his hat on. But if consumer sentiment, I mean consumer sentiment, actually, what does it mean? Does it mean just like a holistic, like how do they feel good in general?
That's why the keyboard was uncomfortable. I wasn't over enough. I was trying to be like in the wrong spot. I wasn't like center with the screen. That's why. I was wilding out. All right. Oh,
should insurance companies have the right to deny medical treatment prescribed by a doctor? Yeah, of course. It depends on what they cover and what they're.
We gotta go get the frightened mountain striders.
Just depends, right? Fuck. The next one wants you to pay 100 for 1966 each month. At least 500 telephone interviews are. Force and reacted to your good stream. Good. Business climate for personal finance spending, standing up for the cash economy, derive. Okay, so it's supposed to be like pretty holistic, I guess. All right.
I need to change his just drip. All right, this is not dripping enough. This is not the drippiest it could be. I foresee a future with more drip.
Why does an account have a bigger say whether I have a treatment over a doctor? What do you mean? Because they're paying for it, not you.
I forgot that it runs for you.
So there's an agreement that you make with them when you buy into insurance of
Yaha! Enjoy, fair lady.
what they're going to cover, right?
I'll bring you more. Gotta do my. It's hard to do the gruffly RP voice, bro. I don't know if I can keep that up. Also, it feels wrong being a cow, riding literally almost any other mammal. That feels kind of wrong. Okay.
Isn't a doctor's medical opinion?
Actually, I feel like a
Stronger than
more
what?
humanoid mount.
The doctor's medical opinion can give you a range of
I think
things.
Torn
that
would
you
actually ride that really well.
For super treatment options, but the insurance company is the one that you negotiate with that says, well, we'll pay for these types of things. The insurance
Put
company
the
knows what the
Torrens
doctors
on,
know roughly, so they work out deals between what they'll cover and what they won't. But
On like multi-legged humanoid spider creatures, or like spider creatures with like human faces and skin. And I think Torn would ride
why would
that really
Rittenhouse be
well.
allowed to cross state borders to defend property? The McCloskeys can't defend literally the property adjacent to them. I don't know if Rittenhouse would have been allowed to defend property, but the case for Rittenhouse had nothing to do with defending property.
True.
So we don't know. That question was never legally tested. We don't know.
True.
Or I mean, like there might be laws in the books or like case law that we don't get to know. But as far as Rittenhouse goes, there's nothing. Yeah.
I didn't turn soon enough.
Do you feel the change?
You're welcome,
in the
fair
wind?
maiden. It was my pleasure. I'm drinking the Red Bull today.
Look to the skies. Beware the deep places.
Boom. Bubble.
Initial unemployment claims also identify your lows.
25.
Down, can you for your lows? Oh, nice.
We got a talent point available to us. That's fantastic.
You think Hassan is mixing up the two Iraq wars? What is he trying to say? What, Desert Storm was a bad war in 91? Wait, Desert Storm was 91, right? Yes. Oh, or 91. No, 91. Yeah. This is an American war crime on retreating forces in a building called Highway of Death, where 86 Infantry jets bombed the front of the vehicle column with its pilot, boxing thousands of cars to get on 10 hours straight. The Polish government-funded fascist freaks.
Oh, yeah.
Highway of Death.
I already have
I
Star
feel like I heard about this before. I don't remember.
Oh, no I don't. That's Star Fire. Totally different stuff. Yes. Yes. Those are what we want. Fantastic.
Why is the Mossad jacking my fucking memes? Excuse me, what? Okay, hold on. Inspired by this tweet, and they shamelessly claimed. Ooh.
Oh.
Maybe we do need to reconsider.
Ooh. Ooh. Yikes. It's getting bad. Look at all these lame druid specializations. If you're not standing somewhere casting spells, you're not a real magic person. That's just what I think, okay? I'm just some cow. Alright, I'm just some cow.
I feel like I just would never want to fight a war against the United States. Not with a real army. Fuck that shit.
High mountain stands.
Fuck, dude. This bitch is so slow.
Good Reddit post addressing the claims the Highway of Death was a war crime from bad history. Ooh, I don't remember bad history.
Why
but
did you
bad stuff.
stop?
Some of the bad subs are really bad. Some are really good. I say some actually. I think bad economics is a really good sub generally.
I think I just
Hi,
need
what's
to
up?
like be a little bit
Sorry
ahead
about
of
that.
her.
Yeah, I left a long time ago. It was before you. It was when we said we'd talk privately, and then we did, and I left the Discord after that. So.
Okay. Well, what's up?
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? I saw this clip of you going, "Yes, I'm Islamophobic. I hate all religions. I'm Islamophobic," right? I assume you kind of stand by that.
Sure. Do you want me to speed run this whole argument real quick, and then you can tell me if I'm missing something?
Sure.
Okay. You're gonna say, "Are you actually Islamophobic?" And I'll say, "Well, yeah, I'm Islamophobic because I'm an atheist and I really don't like a lot of organized religions." And you're gonna say, "Okay, sure, but you understand that Islamophobic generally carries a lot of connotations along with it that have to do with discrimination, racism, and oppression of other countries.
Oh,
It doesn't necessarily tie to
no.
religious beliefs, but it has more to do with either like competing geopolitical interests or it has to do with just like hating some people because of xenophobic reasons." I go, "Okay, sure, I guess maybe." And you're gonna say, "Well, in that case, don't you think you should say that you're Islamophobic, but maybe you should say you're an atheist that detests the religion, but you kind of like disavow Islamophobia because it's been used to justify like racially motivated attacks and dumb foreign policy decisions sometimes, blah blah blah." Is this like the conversation basically?
No, not at all.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. In that case, I am Islamophobic. What do you want to talk about?
Okay, good. Yeah, so after you sped run that, I think it's very obvious why you say you're Islamophobic because it's edgy, it's cool, it makes you feel like you stick it up to the Muslims.
Kind of. Wait, actually, not that. Not as much that. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, cool. We're both speedrunning arguments. There's not making. I like it. Okay. So here's. That might be a part of it. Okay. I am white. I am American. We like to be edgy. But it has more to do with this idea that do you live in Israel? I forgot.
I'm not currently in it.
Okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Okay, it's not everyone. So in the West, in America, we have a lot of strong feelings about xenophobia and racism and anti-whateverisms, all these things, as long as it comes from white people, but we have no tools to criticize minorities when you're progressive, because they just don't, for a variety of dumb reasons. One of the things I don't like is, in a lot of ways, Islam and the tenets of Islam and the people that practice and follow Islam, the way they conduct the country, is dog shit. It's horrible. And I don't like the fact that they kind of get a free pass because they're brown or oppressed. And so sometimes I feel like they are treated with kids' gloves, and I don't like that. I do think that a lot of Islamic culture, in broad ways and in narrow ways, is dog shit. And I think that people shouldn't feel bad, especially in Western liberal countries, as taking a stand against that. I think it's okay to say that I don't really like the religion of Islam, while still also saying you can practice it everything here, but there's not gonna be a fucking caliphate or any bullshit like that going on. Yeah, they basically
Okay.
it's yeah.
So okay, good. So my thing is basically that I think that you do have you cover it. You say you're Islamophobic, which means that, let's be honest, you both just have an actual bone to pick with Islam specifically, and you say, oh, I'm an atheist, I hate all religions.
Yep.
But you have a specific disdain for Islam, probably because you feel like it's extra safeguarded compared to other religions. Is that fair?
I mean, right now, at this particular point in time, maybe, but and I'm not going to do the Jordan Peterson. Have you watched all 12,000 hours of my content? I think I shit on. I think I have historically. I have shit on Christianity quite a bit as well.
Good. I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
So here's what frustrates me when you go about the Islamophobic thing, and then you coach it with, "Oh, I'm an atheist. I hate all religions." I think you're very comfortable to say that you're Islamophobic and you have issues with Islam and you think the religion is garbage and stuff like that, because even though you like saying that Muslim people are oppressed and blah 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 blah, it's actually very not conventional, but it's very socially accepted to hate Islam if you're in the West. Because my argument is going to be is that
She fucking
I
mugging
think that
him?
if you were going to be logically consistent about all religions, you would be anti-Semitic as well.
Okay. We can go through a couple of these real quick. So, I don't want to do I grew up in a black neighborhood, so I can say the N-word because those are my people kind of argument. But I would say that for my particular situation, I don't think it was socially acceptable to hate on Islam. I think it's way more socially acceptable to hate on Christianity, because over the past year and a half, the communities that I've been involved in are big on Islam, namely the Red Pill community, like the Andrew Tates, all of the weird black nationalists, all these people for a while have been way more partial to Islam, and I got way more shit hating on Islam than I ever got shit on Christianity. I've talked about Christianity and some of the issues I have, especially relating to the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and then making fun of conservatives in general, and then making fun of all the fake Christians who the only thing they seem to know about the Bible is how they can use the shit on women. I'll make fun of those people, but right now, kind of the big growing trend is definitely Islam in Red Pill spaces, and then kind of online, and then they're also the loudest people. Yeah, and in terms of hating, so here's the issue that I always run into when it comes to hating Jews, or rather the Jewish.
No,
people.
I didn't say.
I didn't mean that. I'm sorry, Judaism. I don't think you're this type, or maybe you're actually. I don't know how to really there. But the reason why I don't shit on Judaism as much is because it seems like Jewish. It seems like the religion of Judaism abandoned a lot of religious kind of stuff. And then it's largely secularly driven, and they don't do as much of the proselytizing, and they don't seem to care that much about formation of laws and legal systems and stuff. So Jewish people kind of seem to keep themselves a lot of them don't even seem to care that much about the religious aspect. A lot of it's more the cultural aspects.
Okay. Okay. So it's great that you said that. Two things about that. First of all, I do understand. So, wait, I'm trying to structure in what path I want to take this.
Sure.
We'll do actually criticizing Judaism at the end. So my thesis coming forward is that, as I said, you do have a specific bone to pick with Islam, and the reason why you allow yourself to say that you're Islamophobic and going at Islam the way that you did with the whole making Muslims try to kill you orc.
Which, by the way, all that means is I tweet out one bad thing about Muhammad and anyone just
I mean, you do you. I'm
just saying, there's no equivalent. There's nobody that I can get a bigger bang for my buck for going onto Twitter than Muslims. There's not a more fragile group of people online. Not even as much as I fight with black people. Not even they are as easy to rile up as it is to rile up Muslims. Not even close. That might necessarily prove a point.
I'd argue Zionists are a lot more fragile, but okay.
Wait, do you really think so? What could I tweet to rile up Zionists? That's religiously motivated.
You couldn't.
Why not? Wait. Well, what could one tweet that's religiously motivated? Oh wait, I'm sorry. You said Zionists.
First of all, I didn't say religiously.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different thing then, right? Zionists are not. We're not talking about nationalities. We're talking about religions, right?
Well, you said then black people, and black people is not a religion. So when you said demographic of Twitter that you can bank on, you didn't necessarily make it clear that it was religion specifically.
Oh, sure. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
But okay, that's not the point. So basically, my thesis is this. I am a very strong anti-theist. I actually remember when you went on that arc, and I was like, damn, I shouldn't have burned the bridge with Destiny. I would totally want to join in on this trigger and doing this together. That would be a fun bonding experience. So I'm a big anti-theist, right? What bothers me is the fact that for me, and I'm just going to say a statement and then you can tell me how wrong I am, but please don't see it as an accusation. For me, it's clear that you don't go. You say that you're Islamophobic and that you hate Islam because you're allowed to do that because your audience will tolerate it. You would never say you're an anti-Semitic or that you hate Judaism or would go on long tangents about trying to disrespect Judaism because it's financially not feasible for you. It's culturally and socially not feasible for you, and probably because you have a lot of Jewish friends and grew up in America. That's probably a lot more irksome to you than to just piss off a bunch of Muslims that you don't have any emotional attachment to. Is that fair?
No. You said
Okay.
give me the reason. You said financially not feasible. Lots of Jewish friends. What were the other things?
Well, when I say lots of Jewish friends, I was told that you have some, like, because you said that, oh, I'm not going to do that. I grew up in a black neighborhood thing. And I know that you have some close friends who taught you about Zionism or something. That's what I was told. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. That's
So I
not
just.
a question, but go ahead.
Okay. So yeah. So I just.
Well, I'm just curious. What were the other
assumed-
reasons? I wasn't writing this down when you said it. I'm just trying to write it down. You said financially not feasible. Lots of Jewish friends. What else?
It's not socially, or like, what did I say? Socially or culturally acceptable? Oh. Basically, going around in America as a liberal
This is
saying
a
I'm
re-
anti-Semitic is
a
not going to
really
be as
line of argumentation.
forgiving as going around as an American liberal
And I
saying
can't
I'm
really spot why.
Islamophobic. Do we not agree on that?
I don't know
Kind
why.
of. Yeah. Let me get my
Okay.
It just feels off, and I hate that, dude. I hate that I get like a vibe that something is off, and then I'm too high to nail down what the fuck is happening. That's my least favorite, really.
Okay. Hold on. Okay.
I'm just gonna lay it out exactly. I am a really like a pedantic person with some stuff, and for me, it's like if you want to be an anti-theist that hates all religions and shit all religions, it's fine. But when you say I'm Islamophobic, I'm proud of it, I'm this or this or this, and like you would never dare to make a career about you being anti-Semitic. So
Sure.
like,
Okay. So let's
why does it go-
like disaggregate and get through something. So first of all,
Okay, good.
one of the first things is unfortunately, some words are like. Some words are hard because they have dual meanings, but they're also used for other words that don't have dual meanings. So, like, for instance, when I say, like, I hate Christianity, I can say that, like, it's the religion. Islamophobic, Islam gets a little bit more tied in with brown people or Arabs. I especially blame conservatives for this. Anti-Semitic, though, is hard because there's a huge crossover between not Judaism, but Jewishness is like an ethnicity. So I feel like I don't think I would ever say I'm anti-Semitic, but it's not because I don't want to shit on Judaism or Jews. It's because I'm like, the ethnicity is so tied in there, it feels kind of weird.
Okay, so you're saying like when I'm saying I'm Islamophobic, I'm not saying I hate brown people. I'm saying I hate Islam. But if I were to say I'm anti-Semitic, anti-Semitism is so tied to the concept of Jewish ethnicity, then people would be like, oh, he's like racist against people who are ethnically Jewish, and that doesn't really make the point about Judaism.
Yeah.
Okay. What if I then went a little spicy and said that I also do think you
Yeah,
have
I
some
just cast
biases
the
towards
fucking
our
spell
people, so
on the
I don't think
spell
it's
book.
just about Islam.
Sure, that's fine. I'm just going to do this one at a time. Also, real quick, hey, Destiny, appreciate content, man. You might enjoy checking out Breaking Down from the combo Nick Dior had with Muda leading up to the memo. It was interesting example of de-radicalizing talking about defense. Thank you, Nate. I love you. Thank you for the money. I might look at that next. Or maybe I'll bring them both on time. Okay, that might be true. I'm just trying to do this step by step, okay? So that
Sure,
we're like
yeah.
building arguments, so we don't have like a ring of weird stuff. Okay, so that just to be clear, that's why it's also why I wouldn't say like I don't like the Chinese government. But saying like I don't like the Chinese, it feels weird. Because the Chinese is also like an ethnicity, so it's kind of like I don't know if I say I hate the Chinese. Like it feels a lot different than saying like just the CCP, the Chinese government.
Okay.
Okay, so you listed three reasons. So the first thing you said is financially not feasible. So I don't take any sponsors. I don't take any money from any large Jewish organizations. Why would it
That's
be?
not what I mean.
Sure, I understand. So I'm just trying to. What do you mean when you say it's not financially feasible? What are we talking about here?
Oh, I just mean that like if you managed to convince people, and it would be hard because you're a very useful tool for Zionists, so it's unlikely. But if you were to actually convince people that you were anti-Semitic and all you did was just
whole,
shit
like,
on
read
Judaism,
between the
like
lines,
called up
calling
Nick
him
and
a
like
Zionist,
Nick,
but not
teach
calling
me
him a
your teach me your secrets. Obviously that's going to hurt your career. That's all I meant. You
Okay,
wouldn't
so what
be
you're doing,
as
so even in that like statement that you just made, there's still like a lot of this conflation of like Jewish people and the Jewish religion. Like I don't even know if Fuentes hates the Jewish religion. I know that he hates Jews. When people say that Nick Fuentes is anti-Semitic, I don't think it's because he has a lot of in-depth biblically scholarly criticisms of the Talmud or whatever. I think it's because he hates Jewish people, right? So it's again that anti-Semitic term is kind of weird. And no, I would never call up. Yeah, I would never call him up the same way that I would never call up Fuentes for his thoughts on Muslims, although he probably loves Muslims right now. Yeah, but I would never call up like an extreme right winger or racist person for their thoughts on Islam, and I actually fight against those kind of people quite a bit.
So
yeah.
I'm trying to, because I know you've already written stuff down, and I know we want to be orderly about this, but because I see that you keep.
She's so scared.
I
She's
wonder
so
if-
scared. He's writing
okay,
stuff down.
so-
oh my god, she's terrified.
Ooh,
I know you want to be orderly about this, but the Jewish.
Well, wait, actually, wait. I just want to do these 3 points, and then you write down everything.
Yeah,
I just want to go through these, like,
okay.
why I won't criticize Judaism.
Okay,
So,
sure.
I'm trying to figure out what do you mean when you say financially not feasible?
Insane.
just answer that. I think, okay, so look, my entire thesis, and you can just say, hey, the idea is interesting, we can talk about it, but the thesis doesn't work. My entire point of coming on is that you're fine saying I'm a proud Islamophobe.
Yep.
And that pisses me off because I know for a fact you wouldn't say I'm a proud anti-Semite.
Yeah, but again,
Because-
wait, why do we? I feel
Wait,
like
no. Because, in my opinion, one is something that is permissible for liberal online figures to do, and one is a big no-no that gets people canceled.
Okay, wait, yeah, I agree, but I think that maybe should get people canceled. Like if I was on stream, like I fucking hate Arabs. Like I think that's more similar to saying I'm anti-Semitic.
I probably should have checked more into what the fuck was going on with that.
Because when people say they're anti-Semitic, they're not really talking
Yeah,
generally.
the level,
Anti-Semitism
bro.
is not associated with the disdain for the Jewish religion. It's associated with all of the tropes of all the kind of Jewish conspiracy stuff.
Okay, so that's not accurate. That's kind of like a problem.
Hold on, I'm so sorry. Can you
yeah.
give me a single point in all of human history? I'm not trying to push on like super specific. I'm genuinely curious. Has there ever been a point in history where Judaism was
Just this
prosecuted
game.
and not
Too
Jewish
good.
people, or not
Just
prosecuted?
kidding, mine would be better.
I'm not aware.
Okay.
Of that. There might be, but I'm curious.
Lady.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to explain this, and obviously I'm not a historian.
Okay.
So, for the Jewish people, the concept of like secularized Jewish people who are
got that
not
autism riz,
like
bro.
the reason why the Jewish people, quote unquote, like lasted through 2 millennia is because for the most of that history, they were Jewish, i.e., tied to Judaism. They were very, very religious. The secularization and like integration process only started like what? When was the Russian emancipation? Jesus. But all the things like the Inquisition was about the Jewish religion, and actually, what happened in the Inquisition is that after they tried to make Jews stop practicing Judaism, they developed this form of like what we know as modern anti-Semitism, where they're like, well, they're not practicing Judaism anymore, but they're still acting like a Jew, even though they weren't doing Judaism, right? So for the vast amount of Jewish history, they were persecuted specifically for Judaism because Jewish people only existed in the Judaism context. They weren't like secular atheist Jews.
Okay.
That's
So it
like
might
a
be the
very
case-
new concept.
Sure. So it might be the case that, like in the 1500s and stuff, I'm looking at the Inquisition. And actually, if I remember it, actually now back in English class, I think in the Merchant of Venice, I think Antonio and Portia, I think, tried to get Shylock to convert to Christianity. So maybe like 500 or 600 years ago, I guess, or 400 to 500 years
Exactly.
ago. Sure. But I feel like in the modern age, so over the past like 100, 150 years, it feels like the persecution of
You can
Jews.
even go 200.
Sure, if you want. It feels like the persecution of Jews when we talk about anti-Semitism, like largely revolves around Jewish conspiracies and stuff. Like if somebody says today that like, oh, I'm anti-Semitic, they're not gonna have the association of, oh, you're highly critical of the Jewish religion. It's gonna be like, oh, you're like almost a Nazi. Or there's like a lot of weird like Jewish
Okay.
tropes that go into that. Yeah.
So I guess we do need to delineate this first, and then you have your notes, and we'll have to circle back because I see this is important. So
Okay.
here's the thing, and this is kind of like why I said that I don't feel like you have this right. Like you said earlier at the beginning
Is this
that
not so
like
erudite? Who is that?
what was it? That anti-Semitism is not.
Yeah, that's not so erudite. Okay.
Yeah, that it was like a more secular type
Never
thing.
mind.
They're
They're
not
just homies.
looking to grab power. They're not proselytizing. All this. And I was gonna jump on you because basically, there's this. There's what American liberals know Jewish people to be. They mostly know other Jewish people that they are interaction with who are Americans, that are usually either secular or they call themselves culturally Jewish. That is, however, not like that's not
Starting to
Jewish
get loud in
people
my
as
house.
a whole. Like there are 500,000 very orthodox religious Jews just in New York, right? So it's kind of like an inaccurate view of Judaism just because you have very of Jewish people, because Jewish people are incredibly diverse in how they practice. And so
Which is probably all the more reason why I wouldn't necessarily say I'm anti-Semitic. It just isn't conveying anything accurately. Like if I were to say I'm anti-Semitic, I have to like qualify like 50 million times what I even mean when I say that. Like, if you want, how about this? I'll meet you halfway. I can call myself Judeo-phobic if you want me to.
I would love that.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. I'm Judeo-phobic then, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. To be fair, that would be a bit empty because I don't think I was gonna explain. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, Judaism isn't as bad as Islam in the ways that I hate Islam, and then I would have to explain to you stuff that you don't know.
Well,
But if you're
Judaism
just-
isn't as much of a problem as Islam. It might be the fact that like if there were 63 different Jewish countries
No,
and they
it's
felt like
not
they
a
had way more
problem
ground to
because
stand on to start like
it's the status quo for, like, American
evangelizing their
culture.
religion or proselytizing everybody or taking over countries, then maybe I'd feel a lot different. But I mean, like as it stands right now, there's what?
So,
This
so
is
it
a matter
sounds
of
like your
perspective,
issue
and
isn't
because it's super
necessarily
plain
with the religion of Islam as much as the component of the religion of Islam, which is kind of like that
caliphate?
missionary vibe, like
Sure.
the
Well, but I mean, that's also
colonization vibe.
a little bit. That's a little baked into it, though, depending on where you're at in the world. It's Islam, more so than any other major religion I'm aware of.
Okay, more than Christianity, who went on crusades.
Christianity did indeed go on crusades, but I believe that like the unification of the government and like the Islamic religion is like part of the Quran or whatever.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let me know if this is accurate. I think that because you keep mentioning the caliphate, I was gonna say that it
Your
sounds
mom
like
mad
a
at you? Did I
proselytizing,
beat
like
you up?
missionary, like
Just
trying to convert everyone element
give you a big hug, though.
was hopefully what was bothering you. But it sounds specifically like if you had to choose like Christians
like,
going around
"Oh,
converting
sad."
everyone or Muslims going around converting everyone, you'd stick Christians because Muslims are somehow worse, even though.
Yeah, I
that
think
would
I'd probably choose Christian. Muslims just seem like kind of like, or Islam just seems like a little bit of a worse version of Christianity, probably. So I'd probably choose Christians,
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Islam just seems like if you take Christianity, you like turn all the bad stuff up to like an 11. It just seems like it's kind of how it feels. But, I mean, there's also like extremists like Christians, and there's like chill Muslims. Like I say this all the time. Like I feel really comfortable criticizing Islam in the United States. I don't think I would do the same if I lived in like Paris or London. I think I would get fucking killed. But yeah, I mean, like everybody isn't like a strict adherent to the most fundamentalist vibes of their religion, but.
Yeah, so I guess it's just like I guess it makes me wonder why you are so comfortable. There's like what, over 1 billion Muslims on the planet, but then you take the extreme versions of practicing or claiming that they're practicing, and then you just go with that as the representation. But I guess that's the discussion you didn't want to have, that you were tired of everyone having with
we
you.
can have that discussion. I'm okay with that. But also, I just want to real quick. I just want to turn back again on this. When we say financially not feasible, I still don't know what that means. Like, do you think that if I make fun of
But we did this like 4 times.
Well, no,
So
wait,
here's
real
the
quick.
thing.
So what happens is when we do this, you go, oh, well, you won't make fun of like Jews as an ethnicity by calling yourself anti-Semitic.
No, because this is what you don't understand. So you are used to the word anti-Semitic being used as like a conspiracy theory, Nazi type, I hate Jews that are ethnically Jewish. But anti-Semitic is also about like being against like the Jewish religion.
That might be
obviously,
true, and that's fine, but nobody in common parlance uses it that way, so why would I ever?
I understand, but
What the fuck is it? I
that is
just
how
saw
it
it.
is. It's just
Oh my God.
But again, that goes back to my point where like if I were to say like I'm anti-Semitic, I would have to spend like the next like 20 minutes explaining why that's not like. Well, when I say that, I just don't like Jews, but not Jews like the ethnicity, just like the religion, and like they would just be like a clusterfuck of like why would I call myself
it would get you in trouble.
Well,
But
but
that's
no,
the
but
thing,
it would get me in trouble because it would misrepresent my views. Just like if I were to say like fucking Arabs, dude. Most Arabs are like fucking trash. It's like what the fuck do you mean? Why do you think like most of them like practice like Islam and there's like all the weird stuff with Islam and like, and then I'm like, oh, you got in trouble for making fun of Muslims. Well, no, I got trouble for saying I don't like Arabs, which I think is not. I don't think it's good. It doesn't accurately represent my point of view. I don't have a problem with Arabs. Saying that I don't have really a problem with like Semitic people or Jews or whatever. But I mean, I guess I don't like the religion. But the religion just isn't as relevant for them or as relevant on the world stage right now. It doesn't seem like.
I think it's really interesting that you would go like, oh, I would never say I hate Arabs. It's just that most Arabs are practicing Muslims, and so therefore I can make all of these assumptions. But I guess you don't know enough about like being culturally Jewish, so you don't understand how that would have effects as well.
I mean, most of the stuff I see around like being culturally Jewish doesn't. I don't think I have much of a problem with it. Is there stuff I'm missing there, or?
Well, what are their
like generally,
things
if
that-
somebody tells me that they're culturally Muslim, probably don't have a problem with them either. 99% of the time, people say they're culturally Muslim, what they usually mean is like they fast for like 1 day for fucking Ramadan or whatever, and then sometimes they don't eat pork because they just never grew up eating it. That's like 99% of those people, yeah.
Then
Or at least,
what's
I'm sorry,
the
real quick. Those people
problem
that
with
I've met, yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Maybe that's not the same everywhere else, yeah.
Okay, so if someone told you that they were culturally Muslim, you wouldn't have a problem with them either.
Because usually it means they're like pretty secular. They just like there's like a couple things they grew up with that they still do. In my personal experience, I want to keep saying that. Maybe there's some parts of the world where culturally Muslim people are way different, but in my experience, people say they're culturally Muslim usually like really chill 90% of the time.
Okay, but people who just say that they're Muslim. Okay, so when people say that they're Muslim, they're like telling you that their religion, and you think their religion is bad. And when people tell you that they're Jewish, they're just tell you their ethnicity, and
Yes.
you don't. Okay,
Yeah, generally,
that's funny. Okay.
Do you think that's inaccurate?
I think that.
Do you think when somebody says they're Jewish, do you think that that always means that they follow the tenets of Judaism? Or do you think they're usually just talking about their ethnic
No,
background?
that's not what that means.
Okay. Do you think that they're always like culturally Jewish, or are they just telling you their ethnic background?
So here's where it kind of gets.
Wait,
tricky,
hold on, real quick,
especially-
hold on, because I know this is happening in the conversation a lot. I need you to answer that question. When somebody says they're culturally Jewish, are they usually
I
saying?
am answering that question.
Okay, wait, can you answer it and then give the longer explanation? So answer the question and give the longer explanation.
Is it a yes or no?
It doesn't have a yes or no, but just like, yeah. When somebody
Okay,
says
then
they're
ask it again so I know.
When somebody says they're culturally Jewish, are they telling you they're, or I'm sorry, not culturally. When somebody says, oh, I'm Jewish on my mom's side, or whatever like that, are they telling you their religion or just like their ethnic background?
They're actually not even. It would be impossible to know, actually, especially for Americans.
Okay, we have a way different experience. I would hardcore disagree with you. In the United States,
I know.
95% of the time when someone says they're Jewish, they're talking about their ethnic background. Now, maybe if you're like in New York City, or maybe you're in some other area with like a really large, like fundy Jewish. Although at that point, I feel like they would tell you a more specific sect or whatever. But
Okay, but here's the thing, and this is why I needed the longer answer.
Go
So when people tell you that they are ethnically Jewish, the vast majority. Okay, so you know how someone tells you that they're Italian and that's their ethnic background, but that also probably tells you a lot about what food they probably grew up with and what kind of cultural influences and this and this.
I'm gonna be super ultra honest with you, okay? Or like blunt with you, okay? Because maybe we might have very different experiences, and it's a joke for Americans, and people make fun of Americans for doing this, okay? So it literally might be way different. In the United States, it doesn't mean anything. It just means your background. So like for instance, sometimes you'll find like Irish people will make fun of Americans who are like, oh, like I'm Irish American. I'm part. And they're like, no, you're not. You're not Irish at all. You fucking retard. You're American. And yeah, Americans love that shit. Oh, I'm part Scottish or I'm part Italian, but it doesn't really tell you much, if anything, about like their culture, their upbringing. Sometimes it does, but you're more likely to know if you know like what neighborhood or what city they came from, rather than like they're Italian. If somebody tells me they're Italian, they really haven't conveyed anything meaningful to me other than their ethnic background in the United States, in the U.S.,
When people tell you, "Oh, I'm half Italian," they are, and maybe we disagree on that. The reason why they're saying that is not just to casually share their ethnic background with you. It's because by sharing their ethnic background, they are gesturing towards something. You know?
Sometimes, but not
I
all the
love
time.
pizza. I'm quarter Italian.
Yeah, sometimes, but not always. And the sad thing
Okay,
is, it's
I
kind of
agree.
get weird for a lot of Americans, even when they are trying to hint at something, they're really not hinting at like anything meaningful. Like,
No,
some will say
I
like, oh,
agree
like I'm
with
Italian, so like my mom, always shouted at us. I was like, okay, you described like every single ethnicity ever. Like, but yeah, in the United States, now again, this might change depending on some cities you're from, with like some very specific types of like minority enclaves or whatever, where it might be a little bit different. But a lot of the times in America, when we talk about our ethnic backgrounds, it's because we want to have some kind of identity, or we're like rasping it. Like, no, I swear, I'm Irish. My grandma came through. Fucking Ellis
I
Island.
agree with you. I agree with you, but that's the thing.
Okay.
I'm saying I agree with you that people are doing that to hearken to things that maybe they have nothing to do with it, not really, and it's very silly, and it's just like a desperate attempt to latch onto something. That's my fucking argument, okay? That, however, does not change the fact that it is what they're attempting. Therefore, I can say, and again, maybe we're speaking past each other. When you ask me, if someone tells you that they're Jewish, and I'm talking specifically about American Jews, because outside of that would get complicated, and you're talking specifically in an American context. When people ask, what are you, or when American Jews are like, oh, I'm Jewish, usually they're not just telling you their DNA sequence. They are. Do you really disagree with that? I'm not saying that they're telling you that they're religious. I'm saying that they're telling you they're culturally Jewish.
I do disagree, but maybe we've had different experiences. But also like, I can grant you this. I guess we go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, I can grant you that. We'll go from there. Sure.
I guess the reason why I'm saying that is because when you ask like Judaism and Jewishness, and like being a Jewish person is like a really complex thing. So it's both an ethnicity, and a lot of people think about it as like being possible to be culturally Jewish, and there's like being religiously Jewish, and we use the word Jewish for all of those things, right? So it's all overlapping, and that's why I said that like when someone says that, it's actually very hard to know what they mean. Like sometimes people will say, "Hey, I'm Jewish," and what they mean is that they're Zionists, or like it's.
I've never heard that in the United States before ever, but maybe some people say that in some parts of the world. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Why did we?
Well, I'm still. I mean, because we kept looping around on this. You're saying that it's financially not feasible, but my contention is I can make fun of Judaism and it wouldn't affect me financially at all. I don't know if I could be quote unquote anti-Semitic, make fun of Jews, but I also try not to be like racist or anti any like ethnic group of people. And then we're kind of like circling this on like, well, is being anti-Semitic opposed to
I see. Okay. That's probably because I think you maybe and this is a personal beef that I have with like.
Wait, hold on, real quick. Can you like contend with my points instead of these like weird like, oh, I think that you're just like this person, like this person, like just focus on like the one thing. I understand we can get through every single one of these personally, but I'm trying really hard to just figure these out like point by point without trying to rope in like 20 other points to supplement the other point. The financially not feasible thing. I don't understand that. Like I've said Kaiko on stream before. Like I've had Dan. We've done like Jewish jokes on stream before. I think I tweeted out a joke relating to like the Jewish tunnel shit before. Like I think I can be like.
Yeah, that's anti-Semitic.
What is? Well, you can say that's anti-Semitic, but I don't think that's the ordinary understanding of it. And I wouldn't call it that because it would introduce like a ton of confusion. But I've done that. Sure. But let's say that I say all that and I say that is anti-Semitic. Well, I've done it and it hasn't like financially harmed me. Like, I think I can.
Yeah. To be fair, I said that for you in your position as like a Zionist tool, it would be very hard to be harmed because like.
Okay, so then let's can we axe that reason then? My motivation for not being anti-Semitic must not be financially motivated. Or sorry, go ahead.
First of all, you wanted me to answer, so I'm trying to. I understand that you feel like the reason why it might feel like I'm not answering this is because for you there's a very clear distinction between making fun of Judaism and between being bigoted towards people who are ethnically Jewish. And what I'm trying to say is that most of the time when people are making jokes about Jewish people, they're doing so about the mix between those things, about stuff that are culturally Jewish, and stuff that are culturally Jewish are 95% of the time extremely tied to the Jewish religion. And when I say you don't understand that, I just mean a lot of people don't understand the religious ties.
Can you give me some examples of this? Because I feel like most anti-Semitic comments and stuff aren't related to the culture. They're usually related to anti-Semitic conspiracies.
I'm getting a fucking
Well, anti-Semitic conspiracies started because of certain like Jewish practices. That's
Hold on. So
like,
now you're agreeing with me and you're justifying it, or are you going to disagree with me after justifying it? My statement was when people are anti-Semitic and you're saying like, well, it's because of aspects of the culture and the religion, blah, blah, blah. My counter was I don't think it's just like criticizing the broad culture and religion. I think that it is specifically hitting at anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Do you agree with that? Because it sounded like you were just justifying why that was the case, but I'd be surprised if you're actually agreeing with that.
No. So you asked for an example, so I was let me think about how, because I'm a bit confused by what you're saying. Sorry. Because again, you use this separation that I don't, and I use separation.
To be clear, the separation I'm making is one that basically the entire world makes, but.
It's definitely not the entire world. I can guarantee you that. But I would agree that the vast majority of people who are not part of Jewish culture, but just experience it from outside, would definitely see things the way that you do. Like
okay, hold on. Do you understand that what you
Christians,
just said? The vast majority of people on the planet are not Jewish. They're like 15 or 16 million Jewish people.
No. Okay.
So like.
I mean, your perspective, what you're saying right now, is how American people who come from a Christian background see Jewish people. And I'm saying that it's true that that's how Americans view it, but American Jews are not representative of all Jewish people, and American Christians that look.
Wait, one sec. Is this shit not running? Oh, there we go. Okay, no, it is running. That's fucking weird. Okay.
Looking at their population of American
Okay, let me
Jews are
broaden
not.
this. So, broadly speaking, we can fix it because we've been talking about the release. In the Arab world, when people talk about anti-Semitism in the Arab world, they're not being critical of the fact that they value religion or money. Their beliefs are that Jews are largely running all of the institutions of the West. That's the type of anti-Semitism we're talking about. When you're talking to somebody that comes from the Middle East and the Arab world, these are the things that they learn and the things that they largely believe. That's not a trope on like Jewish culture. It's Jewish conspiracy theories.
Oh. How do I even touch this?
Do you disagree or agree with the statement I made?
I disagree with it.
Which part do you disagree with? Do you think that Arab people in the Middle East don't have a general feeling that Jews are in charge of all the institutions in the West, and that things like the United States or Britain are people spreading Jews because Jews have infiltrated every level of society and they run media and banks and the governments? Do you think that a large portion, like I don't know, 40% plus of Arabs scattered across the Middle East don't believe that? You think I'm wrong on that, or what? Which
yeah, obviously.
Okay.
You're basically under the assumption that however percentage of Muslim people that you think are anti-Semitic just like American neo-Nazis.
Careful. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Okay. We need to be very, very, very precise with our words. Okay. I'm not talking about Islam. I'm not talking about Muslim. I'm very specific. I was talking about Arabs in the Middle East have this feeling. These also might be feelings that are spread across the wider Muslim world. I'm not familiar with that though. I don't know like what Muslims in Central and Southern Africa think or whatever. I know largely or broadly what Muslims feel around the Middle East. Those are the ones I'm talking
about. How do you know that?
You can look at a lot of the propaganda that comes from a lot of the media stations. You can look at a lot of polling data from the attitudes the public has, and then I've had a lot of people from these regions of the world that send me emails or message, and then you can also read like some of the Wikipedia articles that they have in Arabic around a lot of events ago, and you can see like the completely different retellings of history. If there's some way you want to challenge this, or if you want to look, I don't know, we can start digging through stuff, I guess. But
I don't need to dig through it. I don't doubt that you've seen a lot of things. Obviously, we can both agree that you don't have some hardcore survey or data on this. You just assume that is the prominent thing.
To be clear, I didn't assume that. I never assumed. I didn't even know that. This is something I just learned like a month and a half ago.
Okay, what I mean is that I will not contest that some Arabs in the Middle East feel this way. I'm saying that if someone were to ask me what would be anti-Semitic feelings that are common in the Middle East, I would say it's probably a conflation of Jews and Zionists. And if someone asked me what would be common anti-Semitic feelings between Muslims and Muslims overall, I would say that it's probably just some weird religion more between Jews and Muslim, which is like old shit that I
wait. So do you think when they have issues, when Muslims in the Middle East have issues with Jews, do you think it's just on theological grounds?
No, in the Middle East, I'm saying that it's a confusion between Jews and Zionists. Obviously.
Okay, I mean, I think they would probably view most Jews as Zionists.
Yeah, that's true. Which, to be fair, is how Zionists sell themselves. So, yeah.
Okay, so then they are anti-Semitic against Jewish people. You just justified it because they think that most of them are Zionists, right?
Okay, let's do this very slow. Okay.
No. Wait. Just respond exactly what I just said. It sounded so. You said that their issue isn't with Jews. Their issue is with Zionists. And I said, well, it seems like they think that most Jews are Zionists. You said, well, yeah, but that's because Zionists say so. So you started off by you rejected my claim that they hate all Jews, and you rejected that saying, well, no, actually they only hate Zionists. And then I supplemented my argument saying, well, they think that all Jews are Zionists. And then you said. Okay, so wait, so then what is your position exactly at this part of the argument? Do you think that Arabs...
I'm going to say it slower.
No,
okay?
I don't need you to say it slower. You're not going to say it slower. You're about to say something completely unrelated. It's a very specific question related to this. Do you think that most Arabs in the Middle East, most Muslim Arabs in the Middle East, have like conspiratorial thoughts about Jews/Zionists because they group them all together? Do you think that or no?
Backwards, leap forward.
Jews/Zionists because they group them all together?
That's what you told me. Yes, you said that. You said that, well, they think that all Jews are Zionists because Zionists say that all Jews are Zionists. Did you not mean that, or did I misunderstand that?
You misunderstood what I was trying to say.
Okay, sorry. Can you restate that point?
Can I try to explain it again? Okay, thank you. So, what I'm trying to say is that I think that there are let me see if I'm actually disagreeing with you, because now I need to be careful, because maybe you did catch something. Let's see.
Nobody wants to believe.
Yeah, I think the Middle East has a very difficult problem because a lot of Arab people use Jew and Zionist interchangeably. So for them to decide if they are anti-Semitic or not would be to... How would... help me through this.
I don't know. I just... The broad macro point we were arguing is... Like, if we back up on the macro level, I feel like it's just not... I feel like it's obviously not true. When you're telling me that when people say that they're anti-Semitic, or when people act like they're anti-Semitic, they're like Larry David. Are you familiar with Curb Your Enthusiasm? Yeah, that like anti-Semitism means making fun of people for overvaluing education, for being cheap and stingy, for kind of being like annoying and pedantic, like the Jewish tropes. But my contention is, no, people are anti-Semitic. They're usually believing shit like Jews run the West, and there's like widespread infiltration of Jews among all the different institutions and sectors of society in the West that's causing them to orient themselves in an aggressive way towards the Muslim world. Like, that's like anti-Semitism. So I wouldn't call myself anti-Semitic because if I make like jokes about even culturally Jewish people, because anti-Semitism carries all of those undercurrents and undertones of like the weird conspiratorial stuff.
Okay. You're writing things down, right?
Yeah, some things.
Okay.
We're living in Islam.
Okay, so I'm gonna write it down so you stop like conflating the things I'm saying. Okay. Just give me 2 minutes, okay?
Okay. What's up? Do you have questions? Like, oh, sure. Here, while you write, hold on one second.
I think we're starting to zone in a little bit. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Anshe guide you. Death from above. Remember, most...
Come, champion. Let us pluck this witch queen from her throne.
Oh. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. He's click-clacking away in there, huh? That was it. Probably should have put like live now on my tweet, but no, fuck that. I'm cryptic. Please. I think they just run all the way over here, right? And then they don't follow that far. Oh my gosh. Exiled Shaman just showed up? No way.
Now that was a battle.
The skies call to me. To the skies.
Death, if you are ready to depart, Aviash can fly you to Thunder Totem.
I think Legion leveling is slow, but I like this expansion. It was a good one. I'm kind of bummed that I wasn't here for live content. I feel like it would have been hype. Especially the last boss or the second to last boss in the mythic version of whatever the fuck with the black gravity balls. And you have to like bounce back between like 4 different or like 5 or 6 different fucking knockbacks and not
Did
get
you finish
knocked
writing
off
your
the
stuff?
Yes. Also,
Arena.
say
That
hi
shit
to
was
the
fun.
lady.
That's Kyla. Not
I
sorry,
run that for
maybe
Transbox.
you
That
guys
shit's
don't know.
rough.
Oh. Okay.
Bar is PZI8. Thanks $100, but this will never be over. We love the death loops here.
Yes, I finished writing my stuff.
Okay. You said, in an American context, I agree. Anti-Semitism towards Jews is about such conspiracies and the cheap jokes about Jewish culture. It is both. In a Middle East context, you said the Middle Easterns are anti-Semitic by thinking these conspiracies. While I didn't contest them do, I was contesting that assertion. Since you don't have hard data on it, I then offered my own theories for what I think would lead to anti-Semitism sentiments, not the American one/conspiracy one, because that's the only way anti-Semitism was functions. Or Zionist views, I know many in the Middle East use those words interchangeably, making it difficult to determine which sentiments are anti-Semitic and which are Zionist with the word Jew instead of Zionist, since they use it interchangeably.
And then I also sent a picture from a book talking about that, specifically with the guy who founded Hamas, actually. So it's very relevant, I guess, in a way. But it is from a book analyzing Hamas, so you might not feel like it's very reliable. But yeah.
Okay, so do you know where we're at, or do you want me to recenter us?
Whichever you want. I'm good.
Okay, so backing up, I feel like I can make fun of the Jewish religion, and it is not financially unfeasible.
Did you really get offended by me saying that?
No, we're just going point by point.
Okay.
You're asking me why I won't do something, and you're claiming that I'm lying about my rationale, that I'm acting in bad faith. You're saying that the real reason why you won't do it is for these other things that you're not forthcoming about. So I want to just run through those because it's kind of weird that 14 years into streaming, people still accuse me of being dishonest, and I'm pretty open about all the shit that I do. So I just wanted to run through this.
I'm not calling you dishonest or bad faith. I'm calling you inconsistent.
Okay, hold on, no. You're either calling me dishonest or retarded. It's one or the other, because you claim that the reason I don't make fun of Jews is because it's financially not feasible, that I have close Jewish friends, and that it's not socially or culturally acceptable. I've never given these reasons ever before for this, so I'm either too stupid to perceive it, or I'm being dishonest. Go ahead.
Okay, good. So, when you said you are a proud Islamophobic, you gave a reason, that the reason why you're comfortable saying that is because you hate all religions. But you didn't say, I hate Judaism, I am anti-Semitic.
Well, but I have said I hate Judaism, but it's just not that relevant in most contexts.
Okay. So, when I'm not saying that you're lying, I said, hey, if you hate all religions so much and you love shitting on Islam, I would love to see you shit on Judaism more, but I have a feeling you won't do that. And the reason, and my feeling why you won't do that, is because I don't think you hate all religions the same. I think you have an extra hate boner for Islam. That was my original argument. The only reason you could contest it is by saying, no, I hate all of them equally.
Well,
and
there's a couple things. I don't know. Have I ever said I hate all religions equally?
Well, when you use a rationalization of like, yeah, I'm an Islamophobic, of course I hate all religions. I'm an atheist.
Yes,
I mean,
correct,
I don't like any religions.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'm an atheist. Yeah, right. I don't think that means I hate all religions equally. I'm sure there are probably some that are more chill than others, right? But okay, so I don't think the financial part matters here.
Okay.
When you say I have lots of Jewish friends, I don't have a lot of Jewish friends.
I didn't say that, Jesus.
Okay, I wrote this down, so maybe I misunderstood. Okay, I don't think I have. Not only do I not have a lot of Jewish friends, I think that the whole ordeal with Trihex, I think, shows that I'm probably not going to modify my speech based on who I am friends with or who I have co-hosts.
What's Trihex?
I was on the front page of Reddit for telling my black co-host, who was crying to me, that I would not disavow private use of the N-word, and it went all over the internet for me being literally the worst human being on the planet. I think that if I'm enduring that pressure, I don't think that I'm changing up the speech that I use or defend or the jokes that I say based on pressure from a friend or friends or socially or culturally. I don't think there's anything.
Oh, that's not what I meant either.
Okay. What did you mean by that? Not so. Oh, I know. I was just addressing that because you said I have lots of Jewish friends. So the last part was not socially or culturally acceptable. But then you keep giving me examples of like anti-Semitism of like the ethnicity, which I agree is not socially or culturally acceptable. I don't think making fun of Arabs is either. So I just when we come out to all these reasons of like why you won't do it, I think that the best reason is probably just the ones that I give, which is that like the Jewish religion is just not very relevant on the global stage. I don't see it much. If I make fun of it, like nobody even cares because most Jewish people don't defend the weirder parts of the Jewish religion. Like it's just not.
Okay.
Like, why would I do it? Yeah.
There are three things I need to address.
Go ahead.
One, I wrote you, hey, I have a bone to pick, like I have a question. I'm not trying to secretly say that you're a liar. For me, you were saying, I'm a proud Islamophobe, I hate all religions, but I've never heard you talk about Judaism, so I was like, what the fuck?
Okay.
That's what I came here for.
Okay.
And I did also say that I think you have a special bone with Islam, and that's why Islam comes up in a way that other religions who have the exact same issues don't come up.
Sure. That is true, the special bone with Islam. That is true right now, for sure.
Good, good. The second thing that I want to say is that I've learned this from arguing. I will say I didn't say that a lot, so I don't know if you know, but I'm actually kind of am autistic. And when you say things that like I didn't literally say, I will say I didn't say that. So if that happens, I understand that can be frustrating. It's because I try to be very precise with my language, and people will try to like rephrase what I'm saying, and I'll feel like they're not fully understanding my point. So I apologize if that happens. I'm not trying to dodge or lie. I genuinely, when you say you said that, and I know I have not said the specific combination of words, I will say I did not say that. You know.
Okay. I'm trying to quote you and write down what you're saying exactly, but okay.
Okay. So
She's
yeah,
fucking cooking with
we
this
talked
one,
about that. The Jewish friends, by the way, is not that I think there's some social pressure. I just mean because you even brought up the. I didn't even. Did I say Jewish friends? I meant because someone told me that you're very close with Dan, and Dan is Jewish and a Zionist. Maybe I was wrong. To which then I apologize or whatever. But I also don't mean that you have like pressure to change yourself. I just mean that if you grew up around a lot of Jewish people, that's going to obviously inform your view in a way. So it would be very uncomfortable to then.
Okay. I didn't to be clear. Dan has been a
address
friend I made while streaming. I didn't grow up with Dan or anything, but.
Okay. Yeah. Was there? Do you want to address anything that I wrote, or do you not? Or.
Is any of this relevant to the current? In an American context, I agree. Anti-Semitism towards Jews is about such conspiracies and the cheap jokes about Jewish culture. It is both. Anti-Semitism in America is 95% about the conspiracy theories, not really about the cheap jokes.
No. So that's how you just don't care about the chip jokes. That doesn't mean they're not anti-Semitic. That's the difference, right?
I'm just saying that in my mind,
Okay.
maybe I've missed it, but I can't recall in the United States anybody being like, "This guy is crazy anti-Semitic. He's made that joke about rolling the penny and all the Jews running out to catch it so many times." Like I don't usually hear that.
No,
Usually it's
I
that stuff
agree.
that like Kyrie Irving says or Kanye West says or weird Holocaust shit or like far right alt-rightists. It's not usually about like just
Okay.
jokes about like Jewish culture. I've never seen that before. That's why I disagree with you. In an American context, anti-Semitism almost always refers to the Jewish conspiracy stuff.
Can I ask you a question?
You just said, yeah.
Sorry. Okay. You know how people will tell you that you're racist because you say the N-word?
Sure.
Okay. So just because you don't think it's a big deal about the jokes are still anti-Semitic, the same way that you saying the N-word would be racist. Just because you choose to dismiss that particular thing, or
Sure,
you
I'm
don't
not disagreeing with you.
particularly
I'm not
mind it.
disagreeing with you that
Okay.
there might be some people that call those jokes anti-Semitic. I'm just saying that when anti-Semitism is talked about in the United States, 95% of the time it's referring to like the anti-Semitic conspiratorial stuff. Like if somebody were to tell you in an average context, "Oh, did you hear that this guy got outed for anti-Semitism today?" Or "Oh, that guy was," you're not gonna say, like, "What happened?" "Oh, he told this joke." That's usually not the case. Usually it's they think
Yeah,
that
but don't you feel
600,000
that's a bit
Jews.
of a straw man of what I was saying?
No, because you said that in an American context, or maybe, well, you could just agree with me. You said in an American context, I agree that anti-Semitism towards Jews is about such conspiracies, and the cheap jokes about Jewish culture, it is both. I agree with you, it can be both, but it's 95% about the conspiracies and like 5% about the jokes.
Okay, then maybe I can build a bridge there. When I say the jokes, I mean when an American guy goes shekel shekel, like that. That is a conspiracy theory about Jews. It's just in a joke form.
I need
That's
to
still
fucking eat
anti-Semitic.
something,
Like
dude.
if I came to someone and I was like, "Hey, I'm Jewish."
I need to eat. I need to take a small break, and I need to go eat some food. Just a little bit of food, okay? I don't need to like fucking eat a nation or anything, but I'll be back, okay? food. I lied. I actually didn't go get food at all. I got a message and I had to it's part of actual real life drama with work, ex-work. Anyway, now I'm gonna go eat for real. I'll be back.
I actually just have zero interest in streaming right now.